Stephen. Hello, Leslie. I just left Eli Carson. His granddaughter was hit by a car last night out in the old beach road.
Allison?
How is she?
She's on the critical list.
How terrible.
It seems it was hit, run.
I wonder if Rodney knows.
Not yet. I asked Sergeant Goddard to try and keep it from him.
That was quick thinking, Ted.
I thought you should be the one to tell him.
I can't tell him now. I've just been talking with Stephen. I'm going to try to get Rodney to agree to having the trial moved. That's something he'll have to consider with a clear head. Oh, he's got a right to know about Allison, of course. But if he knows she's fighting for her life, he won't be able to think about protecting his own.
I explained to Mr. Harrington that moving the trial might not be advisable, Mr. Dow.
He pointed out all the drawbacks, Ted, but I still think it's the best way.
Leslie.
Excuse me, sir. I hesitate to suggest anything at this point, but I think there's something here we ought to consider. I don't mean to exploit tragic circumstances, but we shouldn't forget that people's sympathies play a large part in criminal proceedings.
Allison.
People know how close Allison and Rodney are. I'm afraid that's a factor in our favor. It's another intangible, I know, but it could be of some significance if the trial is held in Peyton Place.
Well, let's pray that if Rodney does go to trial, Allison will be right there giving him moral support.
Of course. I just thought it should be considered.
You're right, Stephen. It's a terrible irony, but it can't be ignored.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I have some letters to get out.
Yes, thank you, Stephen.
Mr. Harrington?
Ted, you and Stephen may be right, but I just can't see it that way. I'm tired of intangibles. I like to know if I'm in the red or in the black. And if there's going to be a trial, I want it held on neutral ground, where there's absolutely no possibility of outside emotion exploding in the courtroom.
Technically speaking, we can't even make the motion until Rodney's actually bombed over for trial.
At least then let's get it ready.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I do.
Do you want me to handle this case, Leslie?
I've already told you I did.
Then let me. Let's wait and gauge the effect of your presence on the people at the hearing. I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out to be an asset.
I don't want any surprises, Ted. I won't gamble with my son's life.
But you're going to live it for him.
What's that supposed to mean?
If Rodney was tried in another county and acquitted, could he come back to Peyton Place? Do you think people will forget that he ran away? Have they forgotten that you did? No. Let's wait and talk it over with Rodney. Let him decide.
He's just a boy. What kind of a father am I if I leave it up to him?
What kind of a father are you if you don't?
What do you say, Norman? What do you have, radar or something? The latest pastime. I can tell just about who's coming down the hall by the sound of their footsteps. Take you, for instance. You've got kind of a clip-clop step. Both your feet hit the same way. You know, clip-clop, clip-clop. Oh, yeah? Who else? Well, Dad, he's fast. He can cover this corridor in about 10 strides. But Mr. Carson is the opposite. He steps real slow.
Well, that's understandable, considering what he's walking to.
Oh, yeah, but light on the balls of his feet. Ready. Hey, but you know what? Allison. She's the best. She's only been here once, but I'd know that step anywhere. It's, I don't know. It's like she's gliding towards me on a cushion of air. One visit, and she's done more for me than a 1,000 lawyers and 1,000,000 excuses.
You don't have to sell me.
Yeah, but sometimes I have to remind myself what I have.
Rita's mom wants her to bug out. Wants her to run away so she won't have to give the right answers to the wrong questions. But she's gonna stay to help Rod. We both are.
I know that.
There are gonna be more questions from more people, and I don't know how to answer. Neither does Rita.
The truth. That's all we've got going for us.
Someone's gonna look pretty flaky from where they sit.
We can't sort it out, Norman. We can't use what helps and hide what hurts. Then it stops being the truth.
Use it like a scattergun, huh?
Yeah, and hope most of it hits the target. It'll end, Norm. That's the one thought we've got to hang on to, that one of these days it'll all be over and we can try and pick up where we left off. You and Rita, me and Allison.
It always swings back to them, doesn't it?
Let's face it, buddy, we're just a couple of lame ducks.
Oh, I'm not complaining. Not anymore. Okay, Bulldog Drummond. Who's that?
I see a man in a blue uniform. He's 190 pounds, 5'11", wearing red socks and a pinky ring. Hey, thanks for coming.
Sergeant, got it.
I'll be with you in a minute, Mr. Carson. No, Sergeant, right now. I'm sorry there still isn't anything definite. We've got our men out in the beach area checking on tire marks, broken glass, anything that'd give us a lead.
And?
Well, the wind was blowing pretty good down there last night.
What else?
Well, we've been questioning people in the area. Perhaps someone saw the accident.
Who reported it?
I'm sorry, Mr. Carson. That's confidential information.
Come on, Goddard, don't stall me. I want to talk to the person who found my daughter.
He can't release the man's name, Mr. Carson.
Why not?
For one simple reason, to protect the person from any harassment.
Protect him.
I'm sorry about what happened to your daughter. I know how I'd feel.
Thank you.
How is she?
He's doing about as well as can be expected.
In the majority of these cases, the police usually find the person responsible.
I don't want any reassuring platitudes, especially from you. Sergeant, if you don't find anybody that knew what happened, what are you going to do?
Keep looking.
For what? If you keep waiting for a magic clue to turn up, whoever did it could be in the next state.
Why don't we talk in my office?
No, I want an answer. Right here, now.
We don't have one.
Well, I do. Start a search, house to house, from the beach all the way to the town, and beyond, if necessary, before he has a chance to clear out.
Suppose he's in the next state already.
You won't know that until you look here.
We don't have the men to do that.
Well, I don't see you doing anything, or you.
My office can't come in until there's been an arrest or at least a suspect.
You know, Fowler, you're the perfect public servant. You hide behind your routine and your procedures until you manage not to do anything at all.
Which hat are you wearing now? The avenging father or the impersonal objective newspaper man?
Isn't it obvious?
Yes, it is. And just the other day, you were screaming for my scalp for being a vengeance seeker and moving too fast on the Harrington case.
That's right. And I'm going to go right on shouting until you find the person that hit Allison. You, Fowler. You are public-spirited prosecutor, the righter of all wrongs.
Mr. Carson? What about Allison? What happened to her? She what?
She was hit by a car, Norman, last night. She's in a coma.
No. We were just talking about her. I've got to tell Rod.
No.
Let go. I've got to tell him.
No.
He's got a right to know.
No, not now. Not while he can't be with her. Believe me, Norman. I know. Maybe the news will be better tomorrow.
Do you really believe that, Mr. Carson?
I've got to, Norman. I've got to.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
How long do you think you can hide certain basic facts from a trained attorney like Fowler? A good lawyer has to live with the facts and make the truth work for him.
The Schuster child may be disturbed, but one fact remains. That child saw what happened on the wharf that night.
What's right isn't always what's best, Rod. Sometimes. Sometimes this town sends innocent men to prison.